Okay, first step, mount the antenna on the glass and route the antenna cable back to the module mounting area. Going to pull the weather stripping, tuck just over the inside lip of the headliner. Run over the top of the A-pillar. Bring the antenna cable down and ready to plug into the module. Next step is to remove the factory OBD connector. Squeeze in the side tabs, push it through the hole, pull it down, and plug it into the red connector on the remote start module.
I can't pull much slack, so.
Nope, that's perfect. We got it plugged into the red connector, and we took the factory connector, plugged it into our red connector, and we took our OBD replacement and plugged it back, or we're going to plug it back into the vehicle position. That's it. So as far as electrical integration, there's a single plug. Remove the factory OBD, plug it into our red female connector, take our OBD, or the accessory OBD, put it back into the vehicle position.
Tie wraps.
Next, just plug the antenna into the scalable module, black connector to black port, and then clean it up with a couple of tie straps. And the module is now ready to mount. So now we're going to mount the module. Procedure for, if we were doing security, just for doing security right now, we'd be done with the install. All we'd have to do is mount it and test the shock sensor. But we are doing remote start, so we still do it the same way. We plug in the module, plug in the antenna, mount and plug in the antenna, mount the module. On this one, Roger's gonna, where are you gonna put it on this one, Roger?
There's a factory wire harness up on the firewall, and it tucks nicely behind there. I put a tie wrap around it.
Tie wrap around the module.
And around the factory harness.
And we're gonna make sure the adjustment knob on the shock sensor is pointing down, so that if it needs to be adjusted later, we can do that. Okay, Roger tie strapped the module up. Ford requires 2 tie straps around the module. And again, we want to make sure the module is mounted with the shock sensor adjustment knob. It's the only knob on the module, is pointed down. To get the module on the vehicle CAN network, for that handshake to occur, depending on the kit that you use, most kits now, you simply turn the ignition key on and off once. And then arm the security system by closing the door, locking with the factory remote, and depending on the vehicle, some vehicles like the F-150 you have to wait 30 seconds. On this one it's about 10 seconds. And the sensor by design does not respond to motion, so go ahead and rock it. You can rock it, move the vehicle with a lot of force, and the sensor will not respond. It's looking for sharp impact against a hard vehicle surface. So if we just tap the steering column, we'll get a shock sensor response. If we hit it hard enough, we'll get the full, okay, a little harder. Okay. And that's it. So test the shock sensor completely, which is just arming it with the factory remote, make sure it trips, adjust the sensor. Most vehicles you can turn it all the way up, very few false alarms, and make sure it trips. And now we can do the remote start programming, IDS, and then the fobs.
Gathering vehicle.
All right, just plugged in IDS, connected to the vehicle. The IDS step through varies per kit, per base scalable kit. So we're using the new GJ5Z kit on this one. The Escape, C-Max, Focus, Transit Connect, they're all going to be very similar. And this is different than it was for the 2011-14 F-Trucks, and a little bit different than the 2015 F-Truck, Edge, Explorer. So we start by going to programmable parameters. Those programmable parameters or modules?
Parameters, and then card configuration.
Okay, so programmable parameters, then card configuration. Click through.
Retrieve the vehicle configuration data. Make sure you have a strong battery.
Yes, make sure the battery is fully charged. Do we need an internet connection on this one?
We do.
You have that?
Yeah, through the phone you have.
Okay. So for this kit, the GJ5Z, you do need to be connected to the internet in order for remote start enable to occur. So IDS is telling us to turn the key on and off.
Tire pressure monitoring system, yes.
Ask us certain vehicle equipment to verify. Roger is doing that. So as the vehicle configuration continues, we should continue to get green checks. If there's an issue, for example, with this kit, if you're not connected to the internet, what message did you get?
You'll notice a red X over here.
Okay.
Upon one or multiple lines.
So that's the only place we've seen the red X occur during this configuration step, is if you're not connected to the internet. So far with the IDS programming, we're about 5-6 minutes into it. This part will actually take longer than installing the hard parts. Turn the ignition off. Turn the ignition back on.
Now we're going to modify and reinstate vehicle configuration data.
All of this step through is given in the installation instructions available for Ford.
alarm.
You do want to, there's a page here, modify the parameter display. You want to make sure you check alarm.
Which is already checked.
Which is already checked. This vehicle had perimeter alarm. You want to make sure it's checked. Which one are you looking for?
Remote start.
Look for remote start. In the, again, this is the modify the parameter display. And there is a...
It went too far.
We're looking for the remote start row.
Which is there.
Okay. What's it near?
It's near my key features.
Okay. Which is common for Ford. They'll normally display remote start near my key.
The factory default setting is less remote starter.
And we're going to change that.
Do remote starter.
Add remote start in the far right hand column.
Press the tick mark.
So it confirms we want to change the vehicle configuration. We said yes. Turn the ignition key off. All of this direction is being given to us by IDS. What we're doing in this procedure is, per the IDS display, reconfiguring the vehicle, making sure that remote start is turned on, all of the safety features are enabled, all of the electrical specifications for remote start to operate properly are turned on or turned off. And when we reach the end here, this vehicle is configured electrically as if it has factory remote start, even though we're using our accessory long range remote start fob. So it takes a little bit of time here.
Now we go back to programmable parameters and activate the remote start.
Okay, so we're just following. IDS gives us screen instructions, and for the most part, once we select remote start from the available configuration options, IDS takes over, has us turn the key on and off, tells us exactly what to do as far as ticking going forward. And Ford is just asking us to confirm and reconfirm that the vehicle configuration is going to be changed to add remote start, factory remote start.
Enabling it.
Okay.
Done.
Okay. So IDS said we're completed. Now we're going to go to the instrument cluster menu, and to confirm that IDS enable occurred, and this is true with all scalable remote start systems, we're going to go to settings, convenience, and there's remote start. Okay, so all of the function options for remote start, they vary slightly per vehicle, are there. And for this one, we're going to go to duration. Ford doesn't recommend that we change any of the default, but we're in Michigan, we're going to change it to 15 minutes. And that's it. All right, last step, program our remotes for this system, 2 of the one-way remotes, into the scalable module. So same procedure on every vehicle, whether it's key start, a little bit different for key start and push button start. For key start, we put hand on the brake or foot on the brake, door open, and turn the key on and off 6 times. On the 6th time, leave it on. And if we've done everything correctly, we'll get 3 beeps out of the car horns. Let go of the brake, leave the key on. As long as the key is on, the system's in the transmitter program mode. And then simply hit the remote start button, and if the vehicle learns it, it'll honk back at you till it learned it. There's room for 8 remotes. You could program any combination of one-way and two-way. You could program in a two-way remote at this point, and it will accept that. And that's it for programming. Turn the key off, and now we're ready to test. So we can start with the door open. Simply press the start button twice, and the vehicle starts. Press and hold the button. Hold it for at least 4 or 5 seconds, turn it off. So again, to start it, simply press the button twice, once, twice. Really the only mistake you could make in starting is too fast or too slow. So you got to hit both buttons twice within 3 seconds, and that's not, most customers will kind of get the rhythm pretty quick. So that is it. Good job, Roger.